The cafe was located 3 streets away from the church. Jude passed by it during his walk. By day, it seemed almost invisible. A narrow facade between a closed shop and an old barber shop. The sign above the door had once been bright red, but the paint had faded due to rain and time. Jude paused for a moment. He had known this place for years. Not every week, but often enough. He looked at the door and then pushed it open. A small bell rang softly. Inside, the smell of coffee, beer, and something that resembled old smoke that never quite disappeared from the walls hung in the air. The light was dimmed. 3 people sat at the bar. Jude knew them all. The first was Levy, leaning over a stack of cards and a half-empty glass of beer. His fingers tapped impatiently on the table, as if he were always waiting for the next chance. Levy was a gambler, not the kind who got rich, but the kind who always thought the next round would be the turning point. Sometimes he got lucky. Then he would walk around with a broad smile all evening and buy drinks for everyone. Most of the time, he was broke. His coat was worn out, his eyes tired. When he saw Jude, he grinned. "Well, look at that," he said. "The minister without a pulpit." Jude smiled slightly. "It's not that bad yet." Levy shrugged. "Give it time." Beside him sat Cornelius, the eldest of the 3. His face was furrowed like an old map of roads trodden too often. Large, rough hands. Hands that had plowed open doors, forced windows, conquered locks. Cornelius had been a burglar in the past. Not out of adventure, but out of necessity, and out of habit. Now he sat here often, tired, as if he were slowly realizing that his whole life he had searched behind doors for something that never truly lay inside. He nodded at Jude. "You are late today." Jude hung his coat over the chair. "Busy morning." Cornelius chuckled. "Saved people again, I suppose?" "That's not how it works," said Jude. Sophia sat at the end of the bar. She had draped a dark coat over her shoulders, even though it was warm inside. Her face was beautiful, but marked by life. Not soft, not unscathed. A small cut near her lip was just beginning to heal. A bruise was slowly disappearing under makeup. Sophia worked on the street. Everyone knew it. No one said it out loud. When Jude came in, she looked up. For a moment, a warm smile appeared. "You missed us," she said. Jude sat down. "Always." Levy pushed a card towards him. "Will you play along?" Jude looked at the cards, then at Levy. "You know I don't gamble." Levy sighed dramatically. "Everyone says that until they win." Cornelius took a sip of his coffee, and then they lose everything again. Sophia looked at Jude. "What brings you here today?" Jude thought for a moment. He didn't quite know himself. Or maybe he did. "I was walking," he said slowly. "Just clearing my head." Levy laughed. "And then you ended up here." Jude smiled slightly. "Sometimes it is good to sit among real people for a while." "Real people?" Levy pointed to himself. "I am a walking debt." He pointed at Cornelius. "He's a retired criminal." He nodded at Sophia, and then stopped. For a moment, Sophia looked at him. Not angry, just tired. Levy sighed. "You get my point?" Jude looked at them one by one. Then he said calmly, "You are people." It fell quiet at the table for a moment. The bartender placed a cup of coffee in front of Jude. Outside, a car drove past. The wind tapped softly against the window. Sophia looked at her hands. "Life doesn't always turn out the way you think," she said. Cornelius nodded slowly. "That is an understatement." Levy picked up the cards again. "Oh," he said, "tomorrow everything can be different." Jude looked at him. "You really believe that, don't you?" Levy shrugged. "You have to believe in something." Jude took a sip of his coffee. He thought of the words from church. The ways of a man, the paths we walk. He looked at the three people opposite him, the gambler, the burglar, the woman who had been used by the world. And yet, here they sat, together, alive, searching. Perhaps that was a kind of path too. Jude didn't know it yet, but somewhere he felt that their lives and his would one day collide in a way none of them had expected.